They don't use chemicals, don't rely on machines. And yet, their gardens feed families all year long. We're the Amish hiding in their vegetable patches. Let's walk through the secrets most folks never hear about. No waste, no guilt, just circular gardening that feeds itself. There's something oddly comforting in how nothing goes to waste in an Amish garden. Not the broken corn stalks, not the beet peels, not even the weeds they pull. Everything finds its place like pieces in a living, breathing puzzle. After a harvest, instead of tossing the leftovers or burning them up, they turn it all back into the earth. It's quiet composting. Old cabbage leaves, carrot tops, spoiled tomatoes, layered deep in the corner of the garden, mixed with straw and barnyard manure. No fancy bins, no tumblers or temperature meters, just piles, steaming in the cold mornings, slowly turning into black gold. They know it's not quick, but they don't mind, because every time they dig into that compost in spring, they're not just feeding plants. They're feeding the same soil their grandfather once dug into. And that's worth the wait. Strange how something rotting could feel so much like legacy. Garden borders made from whatever's around. They don't run off to the hardware store to grab edging materials. No plastic rolls, no treated lumber. Amish gardeners look around. Really look. Broken fence posts? Turned into row markers. Big stones dug up from a field, perfect to edge the lettuce patch. Old metal parts or a fallen branch. Might just find it forming a neat line between the cucumbers and beans. There's a kind of rustic charm in that. But more than that, it's functional. Those borders help keep soil in place, mark different zones, even slow down weeds trying to sneak in. Every garden looks different because every family uses what they have. And somehow it works better than store-bought kits. Maybe it's because they don't care much for perfect. They care more about purpose. And maybe that's the real secret. Nothing looks wasted, and everything pulls double duty. Planting by sound, smell, and feel. You ever met someone who doesn't check the weather forecast, yet somehow always knows when it's about to rain? That's the Amish. They don't scroll apps or argue over frost dates on Facebook. They just listen to the wind, to the birds. They walk the garden barefoot early morning and say things like, "Soil's still sleeping." They smell the earth and say, "Needs more time." It's odd at first, but when you watch them do it enough, it starts making sense. When the robins sing lower, they know spring's near. When the dew dries faster, they know the sun's going to be harsh. Every action in the garden is based on feel. It ain't science, but it sure is accurate. And that kind of gardening, you don't learn in books. You learn it by living, year after year, with your hands in the dirt and your ears tuned to the world, watering without wasting a drop. Modern gardeners often get it wrong. They sprinkle water from above. Every day, noon or whenever. The Amish? Different rhythm. They water deep, slow, in the early morning or late in the evening when the sun ain't greedy. And they don't just pour it anywhere. It goes straight to the roots, sometimes with old tin cans cut into spouts. Other times, they dig tiny trenches beside each plant so the water goes down, not sideways. Rainwater gets caught in barrels, runoff from the barn roof, redirected with a pipe into a trough. They don't waste, 'cause water means life, and life should never be careless. Even the children learn it young. No splashing, no spraying, just quiet, steady watering, like a prayer in motion, like a promise to the plants. Seasonal shifts and letting the land rest. There's a deep silence that falls on an Amish garden in winter. You'd think it was abandoned, but no, it's just resting, and that's part of the plan. They don't push the soil to keep going all year. They give it time, let it breathe. Sometimes they plant cover crops like clover or winter rye, not for eating, just for healing. Those plants feed the soil, stop erosion, keep the life pulsing underneath even when the air is cold and bitter. Then come spring, those crops are turned gently into the earth, like a warm meal for the hungry dirt. It's the cycle they trust. Push in summer, pause in winter, a rhythm that mirrors their lives too. Rest isn't laziness, it's wisdom. The land works hard, so it deserves peace. Tools passed down, not bought new. Walk into an Amish tool shed, and you won't find walls lined with shiny gadgets. You'll find rusted spades with smooth handles, hoes sharpened by hand, not machine, a rake missing a tooth but still gets the job done. Most of their tools ain't new. They're inherited, touched by the hands of 3 or 4 generations. And when something breaks, they don't toss it. They fix it, weld it, tie it with wire, wrap the handle in old cloth. These tools carry stories, scratches from a dry year, bent blades from rocky ground, and somehow that makes the garden feel more alive. It's not about buying the best gear. It's about knowing the one you've got, knowing it like an old friend. That's something money can't buy. No noise, no machines, just muscle and mind. It's early, sun's just rising, and if you stand near an Amish garden, you won't hear much. No engines, no weed whackers, just footsteps, maybe the quiet scrape of a hoe, or a soft grunt as someone lifts a bushel basket. The work's all done by hand. Slow, focused. Some might say it's old-fashioned, inefficient, but they'd be wrong. There's power in that silence, in using your own back, your own breath to grow food. It connects you to every inch of the garden, makes you notice things. A wilting leaf, a worm in the cabbage, stuff you'd miss on a tractor. And sure, it's hard, but it's clean hard, honest hard, a kind of tired that feels good when the sun sets and your basket's full. Fence it right, keep it simple. Keeping critters out is a whole game of its own. Rabbits, groundhogs, even deer. But instead of high-tech fences or motion sensors, the Amish rely on simpler methods. Low wooden fencing lined with wire mesh, sometimes even woven sticks. What matters is placement. They set fences deep, sometimes buried a foot down, stops burrowers from sneaking in. And the tops? Slanted outward, confuses the jumpers. Some hang metal cans or old CDs. Yes, even them, to reflect light and scare off birds. Others plant a ring of garlic or onions around the tender stuff, natural repellents. Nothing flashy, nothing electric, just old tricks that work. Quiet protection around a quiet garden. The family table begins in the soil. You can't talk about Amish gardening without talking about the table, because that's where it all ends up. Every beet picked, every squash sliced, every potato pulled up in the cool of September. It all ends up in a pot or a jar or a cellar shelf. They grow what they eat, and they eat what they grow. No waste, no imports, no plastic trays or barcodes. Just fresh food that was in the ground a few hours ago. The garden ain't just outside, it's in their meals, in their stories, in their children's bellies. There's a sacred thread that runs from soil to soup, and you can taste it. Every bite carries sun, sweat, and patience. You can't fake that. In an Amish garden, seed saving isn't just a habit. It's a ritual, a kind of sacred act passed from grandmother to daughter, father to son. When the tomatoes get plump and heavy, they don't just eat them. They save a few, cut them open, scoop out the insides, let the seeds sit in jars till they ferment. It smells bad, sure, but that's how they know the strong ones are coming loose. Then they rinse them, dry them on paper or cloth, and tuck them away in little brown envelopes or glass jars with faded labels. Some families have seed varieties going back 50 years, maybe more, seeds that grew strong in their soil, weathered their storms, adapted to their land. So next season, when those seeds go back in the ground, they already know the rhythm. Like returning home, modern folks buy seeds in glossy packets. The Amish grow memories, and that's what makes their gardens different, more alive. In a world rushing for faster harvests and digital soil tests, The Amish remind us of something simple. Gardening isn't just about food. It's about patience, rhythm, and trust in the earth. If this kind of living speaks to you, you're home here. Subscribe to Rustic Pantry, where old ways still matter.